All right, well, we're live on Facebook. Welcome, everybody. We're going to be talking about the ultimate follow-up blueprint. And today we've got Wesley Rocha from LinkU. He's going to be sharing with us what he does to be able to do that extensively. And Wesley, can you do a quick intro as to who you are, your background, so people understand that they should be listening to what you say?
Yeah, my background is just a bunch of Lego.
You're funny. Well, my background is just a bunch of Baby Yoda and Star Wars.
All right. So just a couple of dorks here. Yeah. So basically my background has been in real estate, as far as in the real estate industry on the tech side since 2003. Started a little company called LinkU Systems. We worked on basically created thousands of websites. Eventually we kind of pivoted into some lead gen stuff, but that ultimately led me down the road of follow-up, specifically follow-up, not just with leads, but actually with past clients. And so we've really created a program and a platform specifically to help people maintain their relationships. So that's what we do now. Last couple of years, been building and just working on building the ultimate follow-up machine.
I love that. I love it. I think that's the biggest challenge for everybody. Let's see who we got first here on Facebook and the webinar. If you get a chance, let us know what city and state or country you're from, just so I can wish I was there or wish I wasn't there, right? One of those two. Pasadena, oh, that's close to me. Albuquerque, I love Albuquerque. Longboat Key, I don't know. Do you know where that is, Wesley?
No. Nope.
St. Louis, I love St. Louis. It's probably freezing there right now, though. Granite Bay, California? Where is that?
I have heard of Granite Bay, yeah.
I never even heard of that. Yeah.
Welcome.
All right, well, thanks for joining us, everybody. We're going to go deep into follow-up here. And
not follow-up boss.
Well,
it works with follow-up boss.
I use follow-up boss, so there you go.
Yeah. Our platform works with follow-up boss. Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah,
so,
follow-up.
On the follow-up here, Wesley, one thing that I learned over the years from running online leads and past clients in Sphere was that putting a system in place that doesn't rely on me for the most part has been a lifesaver. And one example of that is our recent closing, which was an online lead that we got 2.5 years ago through a Facebook lead ad, right? They came in, they were automatically contacted, then they reached out to us because of that automation, right? It was a text. Mm-hmm. Then they reached out and they said, well, we're just looking. Then my agent picked up the phone, called them, and they ended up wanting to take a look at a Venice property in Venice, California. From that, they bought that one, and then they bought the adjacent one while they were in escrow with one. They ended up buying both, like around $6 million in volume. Then we nurtured them. We nurtured them through this retargeting, through automation, through what we're going to talk about with you over 2 years. And then we got closer to them. They'd call us, we call them. And then out of the blue, because of our systems, they got back to us and they said, hey, thanks for talking to us, texting us, emailing us. We found a property that we really like. Here it is. It's in Malibu. And so because of this long-term nurture that was in place, they reached back out to us. And now we closed on a $13.1 million property because of the automation, right?
Right.
That was the Matthew Perry's home, right?
Oh, nice.
So the automation is there. It's kind of like a fail-safe because we get busy doing listing presentations. We get busy showing property to our clients. We get busy with life, right? Our family and everything else. But this is in place so that it continues throughout that whole process. And so I think the key to it is the way that it's done, Wesley, where it's in multiple fashions, right? Yeah. So let's start just with it in theory. What does that look like? And how many touches is it? And how often does it go out? Can you break that down, what a perfect follow-up would look like for you?
Yeah, so definitely. When we're talking about, keeping in touch from, I guess, the get-go, right? That's from the initial contact. You want to make sure that they get obviously an instant response, ideally through some kind of, if you can personally or whatnot, if you have an ISA, that's great too. But essentially, once they end up in the database, if they don't take action yet, or even the first response, if they don't respond the first time, there needs to be something happening to get them to respond. I call them like bump texts or bump campaigns.
You call them bumps? I call them nudges.
Or nudge, exactly. So it's kind of like, hey, did you see my text? Hey, just wondering if you got this. Is this the right number? Stuff like that. But then that moves them to the next part, right? Let's say you finally get a hold of them, you go on the appointment, or you talk to them on the phone, and maybe they're not ready right now. Maybe they won't be ready for another several months. At that point, you might go ahead and say, okay, well, you could follow up with them, or you could put them in a campaign that makes sure it follows up with them when that 6 months comes up. Or when I say campaign, I mean these are automated like follow-up sequences. Let's say 6 months down the line, you close the deal. Now they're a client. Well, now what do you do? Well, ideally, there should be some future follow-up for your client, right? And then that should keep you in touch. This is where I think a lot of it, just there's so many points all the way down that everything starts falling apart as far as the agents, like you said, getting busy and not doing it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like if you can have this automated as you get all new opportunities, as you get new leads, as you get transactions, and you keep that same follow-up platform, not just for 5 or 10 people, but as it grows for 50 to 100 people to 700 people. I call it the compound effect.
Yeah.
Where if you're getting new leads and opportunities or new deals every year, there's no reason why you shouldn't be getting a raise every year. So if you get stuck, it's because you're just doing the same thing over and over. You're not leveraging the compound effect. You're just following up with, it doesn't matter if you have 500 people in your database or 100 people in your database, you're only following up with the same number of people every single time.
I think the key is that there's 2 phases in this, right? One is the what I call pre-escrow or pre-period under contract.
Yeah.
Right? The online leads, the past clients, the sphere, that section, you're nurturing them to get to the point of transacting again or for the first time. That's pre. And then after, they become a past client. Now you're going to nurture them again, right?
Right.
Until they reach either sending you a referral, transacting again, right? Or they reach out to you and they have a question, right? Hey, I need a plumber, I need an electrician, or other things like that. So there's 2 phases, and I don't think that real estate agents do a good job on either of them, right?
Right. Exactly.
And I think here's the key to this. This allows you to be able to function as an organization. So you're not, even if you're a single agent, you're allowed to be able to grow because the automation makes it feel like you're bigger than you are, right? And
yeah, it's like an extension.
Yeah. And even as a team, like I've got a team and I run the automation pre and post, right?
Yeah.
That's the key to this. And it's emails, texts, voicemail drops, right? Same thing over here. Emails, text, voicemail drops. And the key to it is the authenticity that it comes with, right? Because it's me. So Wesley, what does it look like pre? So let's go with an online lead because those are the most popular pre, right? Online lead comes through. What would that follow-up look like? Show me the email, the text, voicemail. It's just show me how that looks. You can either show it to me on your screen or you can tell me what that looks like.
I was gonna say, do you want me to literally show you what it looks like?
Dude, if you have it.
I could do that. Absolutely. So let's see. Let's go ahead and dive in. So basically, when a lead comes in to the platform, actually, let me go ahead and get in here. When a lead comes into the platform, the most important thing is I think we like to think that everyone knows here that speed to lead is so important, of course.
Yep.
right? Because especially if it's an inbound inquiry or asking about a listing or to go view a property, anything like that, any of those are like really, really, really key. They should be really quick. So you can use this for those things as well. Let me jump into.
While you're jumping into, when you said speed to lead, I just want to clarify something. It's not so much that you want to talk to them. That's
Right.
a great reason, but you want to categorize them, right? You want to be able to understand what their motivation is. If Wesley just came in as an online lead, I want to be able to reach out to Wesley and determine where they're at in this whole period of transacting. Is it 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, longer? This way I know what to do with them, right? That's the reason we want to speed to lead, because the faster we get to them, the chances are higher that they're going to know why I'm calling them. Oh, you were just on my website, right? Versus waiting a week.
Right,
Hey,
forgetting.
you were on my website a week ago. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So show me what you've got here, because this is part of LinkU. This is what you run. And Tessa, can you do me a favor and place that link there, so if people do have questions, they can see what the options are for Wesley's company here. All right, Wesley, you're up.
Yeah, definitely. So as soon as a lead comes in, basically, they are going to be triggered on a text message, a voicemail, things like that. Very simple. This is like a listing inquiry or something like they found a listing online or Facebook or whatever. Like you said, it is to, make sure they don't forget, right? Because it's very fresh because they just took the action. But the other thing too is if someone wants to see a property, they're not willing to wait. So this is gonna be more for like if you have inbound leads, someone clicked on a Zillow property or a Realtor.com property and wanted to see it, you have to reply quick, because otherwise they're gonna go to someone else.
Yeah.
I kind of look at this like you're putting your flag in the ground, because sometimes you're busy, you can't call right then and there. So at least though you can give the appearance that you called and contacted, and now you can open that conversation. I will say one difference between us and probably everything is everything we do is really designed more around the conversation. We don't really do too much about like just throwing stuff at them. Everything that we're trying to do, everything that we put together in our campaigns is all designed to just get that reply. It's all designed to get that conversation started, whether that be a voicemail, whether that be a text message, whether that be an email. That's what it's about. So this basically immediately kicks off, sends out the voicemail, sends out that email, sends out that stuff.
I just saw your request come in and I'm calling.
That's an example voicemail there, and so forth and so on.
Oh, I like that. All right, so let's talk about that, because a lot of people forget that these prompts that are automated, they're there to start a conversation, right? And to take it from where it's at there to actually picking up the phone,
right?
And then taking it from there and actually meeting them to show property or to answer questions, right? Depending on what happens. But that's the next step. And I think some people, even when they put this in place, they forget about that, right? They forget that this isn't to convert your lead to actually becoming a transaction, right? This
is micro commitments.
There's a step in between there, right?
Yeah, a lot of the emails and things that go out, and we just did a training on this yesterday, is like a lot of that is like you're just skipping to the step. You're trying to use that text or that email, that message or that voicemail or whatever to almost sell the home, or you just get the contract. It's just a little ahead. So we focus on the micro commitment. It's like, let's just get them to reply with something, even if it's an easy reply. We got them engaged, and then what's the next thing? Now we can ask for a little more and a little more and a little more, making that path a lot easier.
All right. So Wesley, what happens if they come through and you're texting them, you're dropping a voicemail, you're emailing them, and they don't get back to you? How long does this keep going? Can you show me how this looks?
Yeah, I mean, this thing will go like as long as you want it to, right?
All right.
So this particular campaign goes on for, I forgot to look at how long it is, but it's probably at
10
least
years?
over a
20
year.
years? Oh, a year. Okay.
Yeah, it goes longer. And then we're actually adding a feature, hopefully, I think in the next month, that will allow you to just add a rule at the end. So see, this goes on for a long time. Go to the bottom, and so that way you can add a rule at the end to actually just have it loop, and then just go back to, it will loop, and you can start it back at item 7, because you could skip all the initial openings.
So
or
Wesley,
you can,
could you also, before it ends, could you also have it trigger a different campaign within your system? So
yeah, you could do that too. You can move them to a different campaign. You could, if they reply with stuff, you can add, I mean, this gets more advanced, but you could do rules and things like that, based on if they called the number, if they were tagged, if they responded to a text with certain words, you can move them to a different campaign or stop the campaign or whatever. But yeah, all that is possible.
All right. So let's say they get back to you. They finally responded, let's say by text, because that's where most people respond, right? So what happens then? Does it continue going? Do I need to shut it off? What happens?
So it kind of just depends on what your process is, or for that. That's kind of, if you saw the link, one of the things that I've put together is something called the follow-up blueprint. And the blueprint is designed to kind of train you on how you should set these things up, how these systems should talk to each other, so that, let's say you are using another CRM or whatever, how that could basically stop the campaigns based on actions being taken. But yeah, typically, regardless of whatever CRM you're using, if they're in a campaign, if you talk to them on the phone and there's no tracker per se to trigger that, I mean, some people expect the machine to do every single thing. Look, there is interaction that you need to have, whether it's removing them from a campaign or putting them in another one. You could have automation that does a lot of that and tries to make it as easy as possible. But keep in mind, if you're having a conversation and talking about one thing or the other, the machine's not on the phone with you. It's not deciphering your conversation to determine where this person goes. But yes, simple. If they responded, this is mainly just to get them to respond, right? Because this is a lead that came in. You want to start a conversation. Generally, once they respond to this, you want to stop the campaign. Based on that conversation, will determine which campaign they go into next.
Got it. All right. So let's go further on that, because one of the things that I love to do, and I'm going to share my screen with everybody here. This way, if you need this, I'll send this over to Wesley and he can send it over to you guys. One of the things that I love doing, Wesley, is creating drips on my spare time. Okay. So besides collecting Star Wars crap, I like to do drips. So here's one that I use called 7 Days of Touching. I didn't come up with the title. Don't worry about it. Google PPC or Facebook leads specifically, right? Buyer leads. And so the first thing I do is I outline it so I can get a handle of what to expect, right? So like I can add these to what you're doing in LinkU and be like, okay, day 1, here's my online lead coming through, drop a voicemail, right? 1 minute later, they get a text. 5 minutes, they get an email. I outline it. This way I can have a better handle of it. Then I took the time to go in a little deeper. So here's day 1, right? Day 1, you can see here, just has these 5 things: call, text, email, nudge, text, call. 0 minutes in, I drop a voicemail, right? Or if I have an ISA, I have them call, there's no voicemail. A minute in, I have them send out a text. Hey, right, I'm working on my speed to response to inquiries. I promise I'm not always this fast. I put a little emoji, right? Were you looking for a house or a condo? Pretty easy, right? Yeah. Then if they respond back, great, it shuts off, like you said. If it doesn't, it keeps on going and it sends them a nudge text 35 minutes in, which is, hey, please let me know so I know what to send your way, right? And so the idea behind all of this, right, you can see how we've created this. The idea behind all of that is to get in touch with them so that we're able to know where they're at in this whole process, right?
Right.
That's it. Now, that's a completely different thing than the past clients, right? Or your sphere.
Right.
So once I've locked them in, Wesley, and they're ready to go, and I show them properties and we engage, and then we close on a transaction, they become a past client.
Right.
And that, I think, is the second phase to this. So let's get into the past clients. How does that look? Because we all worry about these online leads coming in, but we never worry about the database, right? And we kind of just leave it there.
Yeah. So that's actually, I'm glad we touched into that, because that's where I feel like has really been our bread and butter is, I know there's a lot of platforms out there that deal with following up with your leads and, ISAs and all this different stuff. But where we've really found our kind of niche to be is in your existing database, your past clients, for example, right? What are you doing for them? How are you keeping in touch with them? A lot of people don't have systems for this.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't have systems even for the leads that they don't engage with, right? The ones that just kind of sit. But in any case, what we really do is we look at your database. Who do you have? Past clients. Who's your sphere? Who are people you should be connecting with, but just simply don't have the time? How many years of past clients do you have that you should be connecting with, but don't have the time? How about even if you had leads, what leads or what do you have in your database, again, that you should be connecting with, but don't have the time? But when it comes to the past clients, it's really just about having conversations. That's it. And the way I kind of explain it is when a transaction's over and you're kind of moving on, to your next transaction and whatnot. I think what happens is I call it like this open door policy. Like this is what I like the goal, I think, of the agent is to create an open door policy. What does that mean? Well, let's say a year has gone by or months have gone by since that transaction and you haven't really been reaching out to them. Maybe they're on a newsletter or a drip email or something like that, but it's clearly automated, right?
Yeah.
So I think what happens is that client, they almost feel like, let's say they need help or they have a real estate question or they know someone that's going to be selling. Sometimes if you appear so busy, right, they don't go to you because they feel like they're bothering you. I know this sounds crazy, but it's true. How many times yourself maybe you need some expertise or advice in an area, but if you haven't heard from this person for like months or a year, what are the chances you're going to text them and ask them for that help?
Dude, it's very low because agents have a hard time picking up the phone in the first place because they overthink things, right?
Yeah. Well, just as a client, not even as client, just how about let's like you and me, let's say we networked or whatever, like if you and I weren't in touch for like a year, I'd feel really weird going to you and saying, hey, Tristan, you know about this, because there's been no contact, right?
Yeah, it feels kind of weird just reaching out to you out of the
right. So what happens is when clients know someone or someone's referring, I know this sounds crazy, and some of you may have heard this. Has anyone been asked like, hey, Tristan, would it be okay if I refer someone to you? Do you mind if I refer someone to you? Do you mind if I give my neighbor your number? And it's like, what do you mean? Do I mind? Of course, please give them my number.
That's very true. And that doesn't happen as often if you're not focusing on it. So then, Wesley, show me how this works on the automation part of the past clients. Because I've taken time to create drips as well, but the challenge has always been to put them into something that's automated, right?
Yeah. So typically when it comes to past clients, the best way to engage isn't with a necessary long-term nurture because it's hard to do and keep that as personal as possible. Yeah. So what we do typically, let's say someone came on and said, well, how many people in your database? I got 100 people. Yeah. All right. I do a single touch campaign. So what does that look like? I'll bring one up in a second.
Yeah. Show me.
But basically a single touch campaign, Let me find it. Single touch. There we go. I'm going to open that. A single touch campaign is this. Let me open it. This is where they get really exciting because this is where we get like all our results are these things. So basically what we do is we just put in like 2 or 3 events. Okay. And that's it. That's all we do. It's just super simple. So you can see it's not a long campaign. It's just, it's just an email, a voicemail, and a text, and that's it. So the way that this works is these are designed to open conversation.
Okay.
So it's going to be something like, hey, it's been a while. I wish I'd been able to stay in touch more. How have you been? Are you available for a quick call, maybe later today or tomorrow? I'd love to catch up. This thing works so freaking good. The key here is, and we're actually working on a new template. The new template, you know what we're doing? We're making it simpler than this. We need it to look like it came right out of your Outlook or your Gmail.
Like not mass text. I mean, not mass.
It cannot look mass whatsoever. It cannot. So that's one thing, right? The text message, very similar. In this case, I put a photo as a sample. Whether you do a photo, you don't, and then your voicemail. We haven't recorded the voicemails. The script. Just again, hey, it's Wesley. Just calling. I'm sorry I've been so bad at keeping in touch. But hey, just want to see how you and your family are doing. Let's set up a time to talk. If you have talk later today or tomorrow, whatever, give me a call back. Text me back. Hope to hear from you soon. That's it. So we create this campaign. And the way our platform works, this is kind of our secret sauce, is let's say we add 100 people into the campaign. Okay. But what we do is we schedule it so only 5 contacts a day will be contacted.
Oh.
And so for 100, you think about, well, that's going to go almost 90 days, Monday through Friday. I can block out days and all that stuff. So that way, if I'm off or there's a holiday or whatever. And essentially what this thing is doing, it's like you're making a duplicate of you who's on the phone every day, texting and leaving voicemails with your past clients, Monday through Friday, for weeks on end, no willpower required. It just happens.
Wesley, this is actually good because the deliverability of the email will go up too.
The deliverability is amazing, especially if you follow all our process and steps with SPF records and things. Everything, yes, text messages, everything. Plus the other thing too is it's happening all the time.
Okay.
And you have a consistent flow of conversations.
All right. So I like the simplicity of this. Who would the target audience be for this one? Because this is going to go out, let's say over the span of a month, you're shooting 5 a day, right? So that's a lot. I don't think a lot of people have that many past clients, right? So does this circulate, and who's the target audience?
Yeah. So basically it does depend on the size of your database and who is the database. So generally it's going to be past clients or your sphere, so who would you invite to a wedding? Who would you invite to, some kind of event or a party or whatever. And you kind of divide those up. The other thing too, is sometimes people just don't know who to call. So you could add something called, just a prompt task in here. And so what that would do is actually, it will tell you on your calendar. I'll just show you real quick.
Yeah, show me.
Yeah. So I do this mostly for like my A+ people. These are people I'm more in contact with, but I want to make sure I'm in contact with them like clockwork. Okay. Everything about this is I want it to be like a machine. I want to follow up like a machine. So how do I do that? Yeah. Well, I need to have something like this where this thing will tell me, it'll give me 5 people a day or 3 people a day or whatever that I need to call.
So it'll prompt you to call them. It won't do that for you, right? It won't drop the voicemail.
You could do both. You can do all. You can do prompt. Yeah, I could do the voicemail. I could do me. Whatever you want to do.
Oh,
It's up to you. But my point is, for some contacts, I may not want to use a voicemail drop.
no, that's very true.
That's what I'm saying. So for some contacts, usually my higher end, my A plus, my A's, I want to call them.
Okay.
Right. So in that case,
So I have a question once you go
yeah.
through this, because now you're giving me ideas here. All right. So you're
so there you are. So I have the event. So when it goes through this, what I would probably do is I might remove this event, because I don't want it to leave a voicemail, or I might just only do personal. So the key is I build my campaign to build that it automatically builds my calendar for me to follow up with those clients.
So it doesn't fall off. I love it. So
Exactly.
then what if we want to go further on this? Are there other drips that you have for past clients that keep going?
Yes. So we do have ones like, let's say you have, we'll do like a single touch usually to see,
where they're
low-hanging
at.
fruit,
Yeah.
get their conversations going. Depending on the size of the database, honestly, again, this campaign is specifically designed to create conversation. So if it goes by a month, honestly, I just re-trigger that thing again.
Got it.
The next month. That's honestly the best, because I'm just trying to create conversations. I just change the first message a little bit, just a little bit, to say, hey, just, catching up again or whatever. And then I go from there. I may stack it. So what that means is I may do my one-touch campaigns and I may stack that on top of a nurture campaign. But the nurture campaigns, those are going to be things like, oh, your home value has changed. Go check it out here. There might be more of my articles, more of my social
Wesley,
stuff.
This is where you and I can team up on this, because I actually didn't know this part about it. Because I remember I create these drips, right?
Yeah.
And so I use systems to be able to automate it, but yours looks so smooth. It's my first time seeing the back end of this, by the way. So I have a question for the audience here on both Facebook and the webinar. Because I do, okay, this is my question. Do you struggle with following up with your past clients in a systematic way so that it happens? I need a yes or a no, right? Because I personally do, right?
Oh, yeah.
I've done it. I've had a challenge over the last 17 years I've been a real estate agent. It's very challenging for me because I'm always focusing on the lowest hanging fruit. Like, who am I showing property to now? What listing am I going after right now, right? So Michael Rennick says, that's the only one says I don't. I have a smart list in FUB that drives this. I love that, Michael. Let me show you something that I created. Everybody else is saying yes. And Wesley, I want to show you this so that we can throw it into LinkU here. Give me a second.
Sure.
Because now that you showed me the power of what this is, I think we're gonna have a lot of fun together, dude.
I mean, honestly, the funnest part when we have a full service implementation where we do it for you, that's different than obviously the link they posted. That's more like an application. But in any case, whether you do the blueprint, that guides you through everything, exactly the steps. And when you launch your first campaign, people get so excited because they launch this campaign to follow up their past clients. And they're just like, oh my goodness, like people are actually want to talk to me. They actually are reaching out and they're having conversations. So you go from having, a handful of conversations or less per month, if that, with your past clients or your sphere, your database in general, you having conversations every day. Now, we take this same campaign, these single touch campaigns, and we do them for our dead leads too. Well, we'll get into that, but
love that.
It works really well.
So how easy would it be to place this in there, Wesley? This is something I created for as soon as we close. I'm going to show you this, okay?
Yes.
As soon as we close, this is what happens for a year, all right? And this is automated. I want it to be in your system because, again, I outline it first, right?
Yeah.
And then I start off with the very first one. It's a voicemail. Congratulations again. Now, I've said it before, but it was great working with you. And I sincerely, blah, 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 right? Have a fun and enjoy. And then I send a text that says, hey, I just left you a voicemail. Congrats again. Have a great and fun day. So then in between, it gives value. It reminds them that we can help them out with other things like electricians, and plumbers, and all that good stuff. And then when a year comes out, this is all automated, right?
Yep. Yep.
When a year comes out, we're like, okay, so that's all my written here. Day 364, it sends a text. It says, and I put it in the morning. Congrats, it's been a year, right? That's me for me, so I know. It says, hey, Wesley, guess what? And
Right.
then hopefully they don't
Later.
respond what, right? But a minute later, it says, about a year ago today, you closed on your home. Happy home anniversary, right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
this is the automated sequence of what you're saying. And I think
Yeah.
for any of you who want this one and to want to place it into LinkU, let me know, because I'm going to send it over to Wesley and have his team do that. So
Yeah,
how hard is it to
definitely do that.
place it on there, Wesley?
That's not too hard. We could definitely put a version of that in there. Even maybe dress it up a little bit. We have a new
Make it look
feature.
prettier?
He'll look prettier. Well, one cool thing we're adding, and this should be hopefully done next month, is on the events, as you can add text, you can add voicemail, you can add this. What we're going to do is we're just going to create a way for you to add a zap. So what this is going to allow you to do is almost anything you freaking want, meaning now we open up to everything available through Zapier. You're talking about greeting cards. You can send gifts. You can sell closing gifts, personalized gifts, brownies. I mean, think of every company that offers a Zap.
Mhm.
Imagine you could plug that Zap, whatever that item is, into your campaign.
All right, so hold on, because now you're getting ahead of yourself, and I love it. All right, but I want a question here. Somebody already asks if we can send this to people, so we definitely want to send this out for everybody that registered. I'm going to give this to Wesley. Wesley, you want to take a look at it and edit whatever you want from it and make it look prettier? Who wants Wesley to take a look at this, edit it, and send it out to everybody? Because I think that should be something that's pretty amazing, because Wesley does this on a daily basis, right? I do this as a hobby. So there you go. You got everybody. So Wesley's going to send this out to you. And ideally, he's going to make this a process into LinkU. So it's for you. It's done for you. So can we talk a little?
The campaign, the way it works is, I'll just show you. Once we load in your campaign, Tristan, into the system,
I'm sending it to you now, buddy. This way
all that happens is someone would click create campaign over here. All right, on the left side. And then your campaign will even make you a little special image, but your campaign will appear in here. They'll go ahead and just simply click to, I'll just choose one, I guess, at random here for now, but they would basically click to create it. And then it will basically load up all the, I guess I put in my signature and my website and all that, right? And then after that, it will basically load up all the events, all the text, everything.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing you would need to do is for the voicemails, the scripts will be in there, but you would just need to record your voicemails, obviously, in your voice.
Unless they want your voice.
Voicemails. Yeah, unless they want our voice. Unless we put Tristan's voice.
Hey, I'll be like, hey, how you doing?
But yeah, so that's basically what it is. So it basically drop in Tristan's entire follow-up campaign right in here. And then all you need to do is, there's really nothing you have to do here. All you do is add your contacts, right? You just add them, import them, or whatever, right into here, and you're all set.
All right, so let's talk about this, because I don't think I've really pushed your company here very much. And I know you gave us a link. I just put it in there. And this is for everything that people have seen. You and I didn't talk about adding this to LinkU, but I mean, how hard is it for your team to add this and make it look pretty?
Well, I mean, honestly, when I meant pretty, I just meant taking your document and putting it into the structure, right?
Oh yeah, putting it into LinkU, right?
Yeah, exactly. The text and everything are already pretty with the emojis and all that kind of stuff. So all that's good. Yeah, it wouldn't take us too long. Probably have it in there.
So the cost for this, if you want to take a look here, it's you can automate all of this whole process. Is going to add this into it. It's for a year, it's $998, but he's broken it into 3 payments of $379. That's for the whole year. So
Right.
you can add your past clients. You can use this for online leads. Obviously, we're going to be using it for our past clients since Wesley is adding this one for us. And Wesley will send out this document once he makes it look pretty. You can also send out the PDF to everybody that joined, right? If they don't want to subscribe to LinkU and have it do this automatically, right?
Yeah, like if they want to copy and paste it or set it up somewhere. Yeah.
I just don't know where they would set it up so it's automated, because even though I have Follow-Up Boss, it doesn't automate the texts, right? And some people that are on command doesn't do any of this long term or even automate all the process. So this is definitely something that we could look into.
Yeah, I mean, from what I saw, the whole process you showed me, the full thing could be fully automatic and automated through the whole year, you know, for that. So as soon as you get a past buyer, you can even have it like if a past buyer goes into one other platform, maybe we can kick off a Zapier to trigger the campaign and link you automatically. So that's where we talk about it. You know, if you're using other systems, that's okay. A lot of times, depending on what functionality is available, we can sometimes create integrations and connections so that they could, you know, use this and talk to each other. That because we don't want people to have to. The biggest concern is like, oh, so I have to have 2 CRMs, or I have to switch. Yeah. It's like, no. You know, we just look at what is it you're using, and then where can LinkU fill in the gaps, and just use LinkU to fill in the gaps. You don't have to use everything.
Dude, I would use LinkU for my past clients. I think that's where we all mess up, right?
Yeah.
And I was looking at it.
Definitely know that we can help you with that.
The plug and play here is easy. All right. What did I miss that you want to cover? Because we've got about 5 minutes here.
Yeah. So I would say, you know, this goes beyond software. I mean, a lot of you guys have bought software. You probably are sitting on CRMs and automations and things. You're literally probably sitting on this stuff already. But the key is having the right campaigns, saying the right things, and implementing. So with this program that we have here, there's something special about it. We used to just sell the software with a training, and a training just showed you how to use the software. The blueprint is different. And the blueprint's different in the way that it doesn't just teach you how to do the software. Mm-hmm. What it does is I go through what I created, the blueprint. I've already helped people implement follow-up systems for themselves with whatever situation it is. Mm-hmm. And there's a specific order, there's a specific priority, there's specific things that need to be done. So if you're thinking, I got to get my database in order, mm-hmm. that's in the follow-up blueprint. Okay. I need help implementing the technology. I'm not a tech person. I always get stuck on the tech. Okay. That's part of the blueprint. I give you access to my techs, my technicians. So we will go into Zapier. We will set all that crap up for you. That's a bonus in this.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a bonus. It's very important to know because a lot of people get stuck on, well, my lists are in 5 different places. I don't even know how to export it.
Well, Wesley, even like Kathy is asking, Wesley, can LinkU integrate with my CRM? It's KV Core.
Yeah, KV Core is a very popular one. So it just depends what you want it, how you want to use it.
Kathy, Wesley's team will take care of you.
Yeah, basically is the idea. So we don't want you to get stuck on the tech. So I give you access to my tech people. We'll literally go in. We'll log in if you're comfortable. We'll go export it. We'll do all the tech stuff because I don't want any tech stuff to stop you. And then the course, right, takes you week by week. Plus, we give you access to my success managers each and every week through the blueprint implementation training, where we make sure if you have any questions, if you're stuck, if you need coaching, you're having conversation, anything, that we're there guiding you. So it's basically, I call it guided implementation. Mm-hmm. Right. So you can buy software, but if you don't have the implementation, you don't have the guide, you're kind of just.
Well, I think more importantly,
flapping around.
If you don't have the automation that's in place that you could just press go.
Right.
People don't even use it, dude. Look how many.
You got to get there. You've got to get to that. So the idea is like we pull you to that part. So it's like, okay, they're all in there. The campaign's set up. You learned how to do it. And now you press start, or you add you add the contacts and it triggers out for them.
Yeah, I think that's the key, man. That's the key. All right. So I'd like to do this now that was all on the fly, by the way. If you didn't notice, right? I was popping up documents and figuring stuff out with Wesley. I love how we did it. What do you think about this as our next one, Wesley? Because I think the past client thing is extremely important, and I don't think we went in deep enough into it. What if we, on our next one, if it's not too soon, what if we implement the drip that I sent you, right? Then after you've tweaked it a little bit, then we go through it, and I can go in and explain the theory behind each one of those touches, right?
Yeah.
And I think then people can start seeing how it works. And then by that time, we'll have that PDF so you can send it out to everybody that registers, right?
Yeah.
And also people can start seeing this in play and like, oh, I got it. Perfect.
Yeah, definitely.
So we go into a past client. What would that be called? Like dominating your past client database?
Yeah, so I don't know. I have some ideas like when it's over, it's not over. I don't know, something about after, because this is specifically for
post
purchase.
Post close. Yeah. Post close.
Yeah.
Day zero.
Yeah. We can just call it the ultimate post-close follow-up campaign.
Yeah, something along those lines. All right. So for everybody that was here, everybody that registered for this webinar, Wesley, can you just do me a favor? And once it's ready, can you blast that out to everybody?
Yeah, we'll work on it so we'll take that campaign, we'll put it together, work on that this week, and then I'll send it out by next week for you, for anyone who wants it. And then we'll obviously also integrate it into our platform. But I'm going to say it's not going to just be there for everybody. It's only going to be for those who signed up through the special link.
Perfect, which is right there. Hold on.
Yeah, exactly.
I put it again. There. All right, there it is. I put up the link. I know Tessa did too. Can you also do me a favor? Send out that link in the special to everybody along with the recorded video that we're going to have up on YouTube.
Yeah.
So we can have that tomorrow for everybody. Yeah,
definitely. And for those of you who, if you did take action today, I'm doing a kind of a VIP group, we're only going to do like 5 people or so. So the first 5 people, we're going to do a little VIP session where we kind of, you'll have me and we basically strategize with the small group on their follow-up and just kind of point out maybe some things so they can get, I don't know, I guess that additional advice, higher level advice, I think, and guidance.
Yeah, look, if you're already part of LinkU, then we're just going to add this to the back end as something that's going to be so don't even worry about it. Once it's ready, you'll get it.
Yeah, let me actually, please email me if you're already, I'm going to put my email in there. If you're already a LinkU member, please message me because we have to see what software program you have. And then there are things that have to happen on the back end to get you access to this. And for some of you, maybe an upgrade. For some of you, it may be part of what you have already. We need to look at your package and see for sure.
I love it.
Great.
All right. Check out the link and email Wesley if you're part of LinkU already. This will be up on YouTube recorded. But if you already were here and registered, you'll get this in an email. Wesley will send it out. Wesley, I'm excited for the next phase of this, man. So
yeah, for sure.
I'm going to be able to see how it works more.
Sounds good.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Wesley. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.